What's going on, guys? My name is Greg and I'm a digital artist. Today I'm talking about outrageous card art for Magic the Gathering in the color green. So without further ado, let's get started. The first card I'm talking about today has been printed 15 different times, going all the way back to Alpha. There's been 5 different artist renditions of it, but today we're going to focus specifically on the Ice Age version of it. This card is Lure. Now, I think this card's super funny. Take a look at this Trog-like creature getting absolutely yanked on by this Lure. He's wearing a fez, there's a skull on top of it, he just looks super goofy. But what I really love about this card is how colorful it is. Just want to draw your attention to the nice yellows and oranges in the background. It feels like this guy is like fly fishing on a nice summer day and all of a sudden his buddy yanks him. Moving on, this card has only been printed once in Visions. This card is City of Solitude. Now, this is actually a pretty expensive card, likely to do with the fact that it's only ever been printed once. Its ability is pretty sweet. Each player may play spells and abilities only during his or her turn. So it eliminates your opponent's abilities to counter spells, but also they can't flash creatures in. Pretty sweet if you ask me. Let's take a look at this art. Now we have this beautiful utopian-like city. We have these sort of large towers peering out. But what I want to draw your attention to is the fact that it looks like it's inside of a giant frog. I understand it's probably some sort of like lantern or glass, but that to me screams frog. If we zoom in here, it's got an eye in the top left-hand corner, eye in the top right. You can see it's sort of frog-like gullet as if it could expand like a bullfrog, and it's got 2 little arms up. I don't think there's anything that you can say that can convince me that this is not a giant frog that has a town in its belly. I'm not against it, I just wanted to point it out. I wonder what I would do if I found out that where I lived was actually just like in a frog's belly. I don't want to think too much about that. Moving on. This next card is by one of my favorite Magic the Gathering artists. This card has seen 2 printings with 1 artist rendition. This is Foratog. Now I can have this moist lizard man haunt you and no longer me. Something that I really love about Mark Poole's older art, so like 8th edition in this case, 3rd edition Islands, is how extremely colorful they are. He has a really nice way of blending his pinks, his yellows, his oranges, and his purples in order to make beautiful sunsets. So not only do you have to look at this nightmare feel of a lizard, you also get accompanied by a gorgeous sunset. 500 years to grow, barely a minute to eat. What does that even mean? I love Mark Poole, his art for Birds of Paradise, his 3rd edition Islands, all cards in my collection. I absolutely love it. And he still does art for Magic today. 10 out of 10 artist, and I would recommend you check out his stuff. Now this next card is the card of the day. Card of the day. This card has been printed 6 times with only 2 different artist renditions, and we're going to talk about both of them. This card goes all the way back to Alpha. This is Ironroot Treefolk. Now this derpy little tree scares the bejeebus out of me. I know that like Treefolk can like walk and talk, but I feel like he just grunts. Like I just feel like he goes, meh. Now this was the art that went on for 5 more editions, but what I want to talk to you about is specifically that in the 5th edition. I didn't think it could get creepier, but it does. Look at these 2 guys. How could you make that more scary? Put them in front of a waterfall and add another one. Their eyes look like they're sunken into their head. Their noses are as big as their face. And they have these really creepy long hands, like they're gonna just like caress the side of your face with them. And they're smiling? Don't make them smile. That's the worst thing you could make them do. Keep their mouth shut. Teeth don't belong on trees. I'll show you how to handle the Treefolk. No, don't. That is not good flavor text. I don't want to see that. Now, with all that said, I kind of do want to see that. This is not a card that was in my collection, but it soon will be. I'd love to run a Treefolk tribal deck and just scare everyone by playing this. Just slide it on the table like, I'll show you how to handle the Treefolk. Ugh. And with all that said, that concludes today's edition of Outrageous Magic the Gathering cards for the color green. If you like what you saw today, or you have any suggestions for other Magic the Gathering art that I should check out, be sure to comment below. Take care and have a great day.